Good afternoon, Good Shepherd. I hope this finds you well, flock. Being healthy and staying safe and staying in touch. Um, it's high time for a little update from me, and I thought this maybe was the best way to do it rather than writing a long tome that you would have to read. You see, it's a lovely day out here as my what little hair I have on top starts to fly in the breeze. It's brisk, it's bright. You see our things are blooming. There's the white dogwood. There's a pink just up on the other side of the house. The storm yesterday, blessedly brief, blew so much pollen down and rained hard on the pollen, and I'm super thankful for that. I hope you are too. And now maybe we can get to the gardening that Laura wants to do, the vegetable gardening. The raised bed box from Home Depot is all set up, and I bought the dirt today, the Miracle Grow, and I'm praying for miracles. I know that we're going to need all the help we can get, having not done a vegetable garden in 7 or 8 years at least. I hope you're feeling okay. Remains a strange and difficult time. It's going to get probably even more difficult in the coming days as we hear more news about increasing number of deaths and illnesses. Even as we more than likely will know someone or learn of someone that we know who is affected by the coronavirus and the COVID-19 illness. So we need to hang in there, and we need to keep saying our prayers and supporting each other. For words of support, I thought again of what I read from the Pope's message last Friday. Let me read this to you again, at least part of it, because it's so good. The Pope said, "Lord, you are calling us to faith, which is not so much believing that you exist, but coming to you and trusting in you. This Lent, your call reverberates urgently. Be converted. Return to me with all your heart." Those are scripture quotes. You are calling on us to seize this time of trial as a time of choosing. It is not the time of your judgment, but of our judgment. A time to choose what matters and what passes away. A time to separate what is necessary from what is not. It is a time to get our lives back on track with regard to you, Lord, and to others. And we can look to so many exemplary companions for the journey who, even though fearful, have reacted by giving their lives. That is the first responders and medical professionals he's talking about there. This is the force of the Spirit poured out and fashioned in courageous and generous self-denial. It is the life in the Spirit that can redeem, value, and demonstrate how our lives are woven together and sustained by ordinary people. I was encouraged greatly by the Pope's words and what it means for us to be living through this time together, and yet finding meaning in it, and finding ourselves ideally with an opportunity for renewal, right, and encouragement, because of our trust in God and who God is and what God is doing with us and for us and among us. I'm encouraged by you and all the things I see happening out there with you. Just starting with things like this. Just one of you left in my mailbox yesterday this document called "A Few Positives from the Lockdown." Check it out. See if I can get it on screen. A whole list, and it's front and back, a list of positive things from the lockdown. You have time to detail your car is one. Turn off the TV, it's bad news all the time. Read a book, a real one, not a Kindle one instead. And on like that. I know that you are writing each other, you are calling each other, you're washing your hands, you're staying home like you're supposed to. Some of you, of course, are not able to stay home. You're out there working at essential jobs, from hospice to hardware. What else? You're praying, and some of you praying with me on Facebook. You're pitching in to help feed school kids. You're dropping into online coffee fellowship and checking in with each other. These couple of times we've done that. I'm encouraged by all of that, and know how much that means to me in this unique and strange time when our main instance of gathering together on Sunday mornings is no more for the time being. It's hard for me to know sometimes how I can help you, and to know of all those things that you're doing for each other already is a tremendous encouragement to me. So keep it up, and thank you for all you're doing for each other. Let's see, announcements. Please pay attention to things coming at you, whether by email, Facebook, etc. The phone calls, I try to keep rare. The what do you call it? The pay phone call service that sends a phone call out to everybody. Those are expensive, and so I'm trying to keep those to a minimum, sort of last minute alerts, so don't miss this. But be paying attention to everything else, if you would, all the other channels, including, so things coming at you, not to miss. There's a special email about to go out about Zoom rooms. Beth Scarborough is leading us in an initiative to try to get us together online in new ways, not just watching worship and participating in worship from home, not just the big coffee fellowship drop-in and things like that, but smaller groups called Zoom rooms, because after the Zoom application that we can use to make them happen. So special announcement about that coming out just in a few minutes. Please read, pay attention, and decide how you should respond. All right. Palm Sunday worship. Our worship continues to evolve week to week. It will continue to do that day to day in coming days. That is, Palm Sunday, if all goes well, will not exactly be live streamed. It'll be pre-recorded, and you'll be able to watch it at whatever time you'd like. Got great help with that from some of you to make that happen. But it's the world we live in now, where we're on the shelter in place in Covington and Newton County, and it's against the spirit of that to gather, even just the two of us. And of course, increasingly as this goes on longer and longer, it doesn't make sense for sort of Laura and I to be gathering just to make a live worship happen, when in fact we can record things and get them out to you, even though it won't be quite the same. Of course, you'll still have a bulletin in hand to work with, and expect that for Holy Week as well. Joanne and I and others helping with the technical stuff are working hard now on not only putting together Sunday, but putting together some things for all of us to have for Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, and the Great Vigil of Easter, so we can all have some way to touch on one or more of the great liturgies of Holy Week from home. All right, and hopefully with some video support for some of those. Let's see. Also be looking out for ways to continue to help in the community. The e-news that's going to go out later today will have a probably even slightly longer list of sign-ups and opportunities for continuing to help us feed school kids while school is out. And that's ramped up to include getting super packs, non-perishable foods out to kids for the weekend. Those go out on Fridays, and we're able to help put those together. If you can collect groceries out of your cabinet, or put them in your next grocery order, the right things, which you'll see listed, you have a chance to put those together. And people can even pick them up from your house. You don't even have to go out to deliver them. So super packs are coming. Next week is spring break. The school cafeterias will not be fixing lunches for the kids. Megan at the food pantry and Action Ministries and others are working on ways that those lunches can be prepared in a hygienic way, perhaps in other commercial kitchens. But our job is going to be to try to be available if we can, those of us who can, and not have too many health worries, to be able to get those lunches distributed next week in Porterdale and places like that. Let's see. The vestry has cranked up their phone tree. You may be getting a request to help make phone calls. We have 183 people in that directory, representing somewhat smaller number of families than that. But we want everybody getting a call about at least weekly to be checked on, just to say we haven't forgotten you. How are you? What can we do for you? So be looking for either a call to help or just a call, a check-in call. Let's see. And likewise with that, be ready. As I've said before, be ready in the coming days and weeks to let us know what you need. Some of us, in terms of running low on supplies, needing to get a prescription from the store, needing something from the hardware store even, and being extremely cautious, as you ought to be, about going out, older folks especially, and people with chronic conditions. Let us know, be ready to let us know what you need, because people are already raising their hands ready to help, okay? Let's see. Finally, again, something that was shared with me, a scripture quote that one of you shared with me yesterday that I want to close with. This is from Colossians, the 3rd chapter of Colossians. Clothe yourselves with a holy way of life, compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. It seems to me that in this time of pandemic and this time of sheltering in place, those qualities that call to compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience is as important as ever. Even as we don't encounter people, and we try not to encounter too many people physically close, we were reminded how important it is still to encounter them, to encounter each other, to seek the Christ in each other, and to offer compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience to each other, in all the other ways that we can without being face to face. So keep up the good work. Keep saying your prayers. Be in touch. Chin up, as the bishop says. We're going to get through this together as a church, as a community, as a country, even as a world. We're going to get through this, and we're going to be different and new in many ways on the other side, and there will be blessings in that. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.